I'm Ismini Clark, co-founder and co-director of IMFORMED in partnership with Mike O'Driscoll. We launched IMFORMED in January 2015 to provide our brand of dedicated networking services to the industrial minerals sector worldwide. This year, we have a record attendance at our already established Oilfield Minerals and Mag Forum events. We are now launching our Fluorine Forum in San Luis Potosi in October this year as a result of much demand from the fluorspar industry. We are sure Fluorine Forum 2 will become a signature event for the fluorine industry, and we would like to invite you to attend our inaugural event by registering on our website now.
Our focus at IMFORMED is picking specific industrial mineral markets that require a decent networking and knowledge platform. The chemical element fluorine enjoys widespread use in almost all finished goods. It is largely irreplaceable. Its primary source is fluorspar, also known as fluorite, an industrial mineral composed mainly of calcium fluoride. There are two commercial grades, metallurgical grade, or metspar, accounting for 40% of the market, and acid grade, or acid spar, accounting for 60%. Some 40% of fluorspar is required to manufacture hydrofluoric acid, HF, the vital chemical precursor in the manufacture of a wide range of fluorochemicals and fluoropolymers. These are used in a host of applications, such as refrigeration, air conditioning, plastics, coatings, pharmaceuticals, solar panels, and lithium-ion batteries, just to name a few. Around 23% is used to make aluminium fluoride, used in the smelting of aluminium. About 35% is used in the steel industry as flux, while the rest is used in other uses, such as cement, ceramics, and welding rods. Despite its demand in these global markets, the supply chain is quite a select sector. There are very few commercially developed sources of fluorspar, which account for a world production of just under 6 million tonnes. China, responsible for 65% of supply, followed by Mexico, Mongolia, Vietnam, South Africa, and Spain, altogether accounting for 90% of world supply. The industry has been experiencing a range of issues which are influencing its outlook. These include decreasing demand in recent years, new producers such as in Vietnam, Thailand, Germany, and an imminent newcomer from Canada due on stream about the time of the conference. There are also closures in Kenya, cutbacks in Mexico, and Mongolia. These have changed the supply mix. Also, lower demand and increased supply has influenced prices. Environmental pressures on the use of fluorochemicals, non-fluorine replacements in refrigeration and air conditioning, and the use of FSA as an alternative to fluorspar. All these issues and their impact on the outlook for the fluorine market will be examined and discussed at Fluorine Forum 2017, our new conference for the fluorspar industry organised by IMFORMED in response to market demand, which will bring together the leading global players in fluorine demand and supply. We already have a packed speaker panel ready to discuss all the issues. Fluorine Forum 2017 takes place on 30th of October to the 2nd of November at the Hilton Hotel in San Luis Potosi, Mexico. The venue has been specially chosen since it is close to the mine and plant of the world's largest fluorspar producer, Mexichem, who will be hosting a field trip to their operation on Thursday, 2nd of November, thus concluding the conference. Fluorine Forum 2017 will be an invaluable opportunity to network with the world's fluorine community, gain an understanding of the trends and factors shaping the industry, and see firsthand the world-class Mexichem mine and plant in action. Joining me is Peter Huxtable and Alison Saxby. Peter, you're a fluorspar expert.
Well, I like to think I am, Mike. I've been in the business some 40 years, associated with it. For 20 years of that, I was the managing director at Fleet Mines, the fluorspar operation in Derbyshire in the UK. And for part of that period, I was also chairman of the International Fluorspar Association.
And Alison, you're director at Roskill.
Yes, that's right, Mike. I've been covering the fluorspar industry for nearly 30 years now. And here at Roskill, we carry out consultancy studies and also write reports on minor metals and industrial minerals.
So Peter, you're co-authoring a presentation at Fluorine Forum 2017 about the future of the industry. What can you tell us about that?
It's a very interesting time, and obviously a good time to have a lot of delegates coming to find out what's going on in the world, because there is an awful lot happening and a lot of uncertainty. We've seen a lot of turmoil over the last 2 years. We've seen fluorspar volumes dropping. We've seen prices coming down at the same time. But meanwhile, we've seen a complete change in the mix of suppliers. You've already said that there's a limited supply there. And we've seen one large Vietnam coming into the market and several smaller ones. Meanwhile, some of the big players like Mexico and Mongolia have reduced their output quite drastically.
And can I just ask, what about met spar in relation to acid spar? Is it the same for both?
Acid spar has probably held up reasonably well in the last 2 or 3 years, but it's still below the levels pre-recession of 2008. But the metallurgical side has seen a tumble. With the steel industry has been down. It did pick up a bit last year, but prices have still been depressed there.
One more aspect I'd like to just dwell on, the potential use of non-fluorine related materials in certain applications, such as refrigeration or air conditioning. What can we say about that?
I think that's a more mixed area. I mean, certainly domestic refrigeration was lost, I think, mainly to hydrocarbons some years ago, although there are safety fears there. They're more a problem if you're going into some of the more traditional refrigerant gases in supermarkets or in large areas where people might be there. Therefore, it's more likely that the fluorinated materials will stay there. Car air conditioning, there are some very good refrigerants coming to replace them with zero global warming potential. There are people who think carbon dioxide would make a good refrigeration alternative, but actually that is not very good for the environment, and in warm climates it doesn't give you very good air conditioning either.
Thanks, Peter.
Pleasure.
Alison, one major factor that we mustn't overlook, of course, is China. What can we say about that?
Well, we can say that China is a major influence on the fluorspar market and will continue to be so going forward in the future. In terms of both producing end products such as hydrofluoric acid and aluminium fluoride, but also as an exporter of acid spar. And it is an important importer of met spar as well. So it's continuing to have a big influence. Trade patterns have changed though, literally over the last 5 years. We've seen Chinese exports of acid spar drop from a level of about 400,000 tonnes in 2011 down to about 200,000 tonnes in 2016. So there are changing, things are happening.
On the subject of the environment, we've seen that have quite an impact in certain other mineral industries in China with these particular pollution controls. Is the same happening in fluorspar?
The fact is the Chinese government will continue to influence the policy on fluorspar supply and demand. Fluorspar has just been named as a strategic mineral. That's going to influence the resources and reserves and allocation. The Chinese government, in terms of the environmental and pollution side of things, they've brought in lists of approved producers. Now this means smaller producers are having to find the investment necessary to upgrade their facilities. Some of them are going out of business, or there's driving consolidation in the industry.
There are some saying that perhaps in the future China may well be a net importer of fluorspar. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, because we have seen in 2015 and 2016 some small imports, minor imports at the moment compared to the total world production, but it has started to happen. So that is something to watch in the future.
So thanks, Alison. And Peter, thank you both very much for your valuable insight into this industry. Thanks once again.
So that was just a flavour of the kind of insightful comment from leading experts which Fluorine Forum 2017 will provide through a structured and well-moderated programme covering the key aspects of the fluorine supply, processing, logistics and market demand, not to mention invaluable perceptions gleaned from the guided tour of Mexichem's fluorspar operation. Take advantage of our early bird registration rates, saving $500, and book your place now at what promises to be the most exciting and informative forum for the world's fluorine industry. We look forward to welcoming you to San Luis Potosí later this year.